Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of The Dragon Family, a Hong Kong crime action movie from 1988 that was directed by Lau Kar-wing. Andy Lau, Allan Tom, Max Mock, Kent Cheng, and Lau Kar-wing are just a few of the actors who appear in this. Ying, patriarch of the Lung family and leader of the 4 Triad families, has decided to stop dealing in drugs and go straight with legitimate businesses. While the number 3 and number 4 of the 4 families follow along, White Wolf, the number 2 of the 4 families, continues his illegal dealings, and Lung sends his hitman and adopted son, Allan, to kill Wolf's underling, Golden Teeth Shing, who is in charge of Wolf's drug business, before sending Allan to Taiwan to hide from the police. The fallout from this event will impact a variety of people who are associated with these triads. So the Wikipedia plot synopsis, I just fired it up, and it's like a massive wall of text. So I was like expecting one of those sprawling stories involving a bunch of characters where it's difficult to keep track of interrelationships and loyalties. I've previously experienced this not only in some other gangster movies, but also some Japanese samurai movies where there's just so many different characters and it's kind of hard to track everything on a first-time viewing. And while The Dragon Family is certainly an ensemble film, I was happy to see that the story is actually quite easy to follow and nicely constructed. There's definitely an emphasis on going legit. It's similar to that Joey Wong movie I reviewed a few months back. What was it, An Eye for an Eye? Where you have someone who's trying to go legit, and like there's other gangsters within the organization that are not willing to do this, and that creates a lot of conflict. This is similar in some degree. You know, this guy Lung has to constantly lecture his sons and his underlings to stop their shady dealings. And you could tell that his plan is still kind of a work in progress here. He needs to persistently guide his men in order to implement a complete change of direction. But meanwhile, some of the other triads strategize, scheme, and manipulate in the background, and they continue doing nefarious things for personal gain. And they even set traps for those who oppose them. So by the 30-minute mark, the script develops a pretty compelling series of events, and it does draw a line between your protagonists and your antagonists. And there are also a few little twists that I did not see coming. So for fans of action cinema, we get enough of it in this film. This is one of those movies that feels way more like a crime drama early on. But then it transitions to more of an action flick after the crap hits the fan. And that does happen at one point. So the second half of the movie consists of many assassination attempts and hits and retaliations. Good bloody stuff, and you're not entirely sure who's going to survive. Or who's going to get clipped. And one thing I need to point out is that Andy Lau is not really the lead here. He's one of many characters. In fact, he has limited dialogue during the opening half and does not make a large impact on the story until later on. He does get his moments, though. But don't expect an Andy Lau vehicle when watching this. Of course, the presence of a handful of big-name Hong Kong actors helps to make this an ensemble film work. So I think The Dragon Family is a pretty strong triad movie. You get the dramatic aspects that you want and the action elements. And I definitely recommend it. It's currently available streaming on Tubi, so it's easy to find. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.